But anyway, I did a couple of laps, and he asked me how I feel. I said, oh, I feel great. But my friend later told me, he said, look at him, he's dying all over the place, you know. And they ran me over. They ran me over the first day. And I retreated to the outer lane. Now, we trained 6 hours, 5-6 hours a day, rain or shine, and it was brutal. And then in the summertime, we trained twice a day, 7:15 to 12 noon, and then we came back from 3 to 5 in the afternoon. So my whole regiment was sleep, eat, and swim. But of course, I came to California late for that. I wanted to be an Olympian, but I was late. I was late in the game. He had these kids doing this training, man, since they were about 4 or 5 years old. And the California swimmers, the Buffalo swimmers, was like no comparison. They just had the technique and they had everything, you know, and it was no comparison. But anyway, I persevered, and I never will forget. I went to Long Beach, California with him, and this was for the Olympic trials in '76. And he was pissed because none of his team guys did really great, and he was pissed. But I got to meet my hero, Mark Spitz. He was there, shook my hand, took me out to the bins, gave me a pair of goggles, and inspired me. And the coach said, well, son, I'm the wheel and you're the spokes. You keep training hard, and this is where you can be. So I back to Sacramento, dredging on. 80 arrives and the boycott. Well, I wasn't going to make the Olympic team, but all I had was the dream. But with the boycott, that kind of ended. But then I heard all this stuff about black people not being able to swim and all this stuff. That really kind of bothered me because I know I was swimming. And, you know, your bones are too heavy, and El Campan is cracking those jokes and all of that crap. So I said, I had this friend of mine back in Buffalo that was working for my dad in the store. He said to me, he said, Tuna, you need to swim the English Channel, man. I said, what? He said, you need to swim the English Channel. So the first thing I did is I made my resume. And I wrote to some people with some, with some potential sponsors. And they said, well, first you need to do some swims like Alcatraz Island to show that, you can really be a channel swimmer and this and that. So my friend Frank Withrow introduced me to the California heavyweight champion. His name is Henry Clark. I go on Henry Clark's t-shirt store. Clark says, Frank introduced me. He says he wants to swim the channel. He says, what? The channel? Black people don't swim. Are you kidding? He said, okay, man. He says, we're going to do a 3-mile swim down the Sacramento River. And he got this big black yacht. And, man, we did the 3-mile swim down the river. And that prepped me. So he was in my corner. So the next move was Alcatraz Island at that Dolphin Club in the Dolphinites, I call them. We did a little test swim off the island of Alcatraz early in the morning. I think I swam in from Alcatraz back into the cove in about 36 minutes. But the record was by this guy named Tim Duncan or something. He did it in 27 minutes. But the main thing was, I made the swim and I was the first black guy to do it. So I was splashed on the front page of the sports in the Sacramento Bee, and they had me and Henry Clark, Henry Winston, and a guy named the Lion. And we were all in the boat, and then the press. There was a press crew with television and everything, and they came out. I guess they thought I was going to drown. Anyway, their motor failed on the boat, and they were rowing in for their lives. The winds and the waves came up, and the motor didn't work, and they came to see me sink, and they were rolling in. And getting ready to go to Alcatraz Island. Oh, okay. You know something else? Oh, I forgot to mention to it, and it's very important that I do that. The first time I came to the Dolphin Club, the guy says to me, there's sharks in the water, and you gotta have some insurance. But I was with this white guy, his name was the Mighty Hogue. He was from Massachusetts. He says, well, this guy wants to swim the channel. So the guy says, okay, give him a locker. Let's see what he can do. So I swam in this cove swim around the cove. It's the Spring Cove swim. Did they still it? Okay, I don't know. But anyway, it was the Spring Cove swim. The date was April, I never forget it, April the 15th. And I swam the distance, that 1 mile cove swim in 21 minutes. I won the cove swim. And they put me down as guest winner, Charles Chapman, at the bottom of the list. I guess because I was not a Dolphinite. And I was pissed. You know, how are you going to put the winner on the bottom? But, you know, I live with it. So then we progressed on. And I was there trying to break Mike Garibaldi's record, the great Mike Garibaldi. He had the record from San Francisco around the island in 1 hour and 14 minutes or something like that. So I was getting a lot of press play for that. You know, the Tune is going to break his record. The Tune's going to break his record. Well, that didn't happen.